let's talk about the patriarchy. Let's see. This is from her perspective. Wow. Perspective. Remember when they wanted to change history to her story because history was like had his in it? And you remember those classes, those gender studies classes in college where they were like, all language is intrinsically male. So we have to create a new language for women. Okay. You see where I'm going with this. All right, so we're going to start. I'm going to do some live reacts. So Tyler, unfortunately, is going to have to pause. I know you love that, Tyler. So let's pull it up and let's get started and see what she has to say. Here she is. She has a lot of credentials.
I studied gender-based trauma, and I have 2 relevant degrees from Harvard on this. Let's talk about men who say, not all men. This behavior comes from 3 sources. First, this is a male pick-me behavior. Oh, I understand there are men out there who are acting in abusive ways, but I'm not one of them. I'm one of the good guys. That's a total delusion, by the way. In a patriarchy, everyone has internalized misogyny, sexism, and oppressive...
Already. I can't, man. First of all, she has 2 degrees. She needs you to know that.
2.
She has 2.
Not 1, but 2.
She has 2 degrees. Gender studies, I'm guessing. She reads like a gender studies professor. You know, she's got the whole look going on. You know, you're a dude. You walk into that classroom and take that class. You're like, oh shit, man. I'm in trouble. No matter what I say, I'm screwed. You know, I'm mansplaining when I'm not. I'm going to be told to sit back. I'm going to have to hear about the patriarchy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know what? Drop that class, guys. I'm telling you, man, you can't win. Anyway, she has the 2 degrees, so we have to listen. She starts off, though, already with that nonsense about how, because we're in a patriarchy, which I would question, are we? Are we, though, in 2022? Do you really think we're in a patriarchy? Think about it. Because of that, everyone has this intrinsic misogyny, okay? I cannot stand when people do this, when it's like you cease to be an individual. You cease to have your own character, like be responsible for your own actions. No. It's that because you grew up in the United States and we're a patriarchy, you are a misogynist, even if you don't act like one. Underneath it all in your subconscious, you're a misogynist. And they do this with race, right? They say, well, because this was once a country that had slavery and it's bred into your upbringing generations and generations back, you are a closet racist. You don't know it, but you are a closet racist. How disgusting to say that to people. Why not? Here's an idea for the feminist. I have a fancy degree too. I just don't put it up here. I don't have my Master of Arts slammed up here. You know why? Because I learned more working in a cocktail lounge, using practical skills and learning people skills than I ever learned at Columbia University from my dumb masters. That's the honest truth. So you like your degree, whatever. But how about we start looking at people as people? How about there are legitimate people who are racist out there and they show you with their words and actions. You don't assume somebody else is racist just because once in the United States there was slavery. No, that's not a reflection of their behavior. You don't assume that a man is a misogynist just because there's this patriarchy that is woven through the system. How do you know how that man was raised? How do you know what his values are? How do you know how he treats his friends? How do you know how he treats his girlfriend? How do you know how he treats his sister? You don't know anything about him. Don't assume that that guy is a bad person just because it fits your history book talking point, that revisionist history that you probably read as Bible. All right, let's continue, Tyler.
To treat women. That's why we all gotta unlearn patriarchal ways of behaving. Number 2, the need to control women's voices. Notice how they are tone policing women far more than they're mad at those men who are abusing, harassing, and raping women, who are giving rest of the men a bad name. Number 3, male superiority complex. This would relate to the male pick-me behavior. Oh, I understand there will be awful men out there like who will abuse and rape and harass you and oppress you, but I'm not one of them. If you depend on me to protect you from male violence, you'll be good. That instills in women a fear of independence.
What is wrong with somebody saying like, hey, I have no problem with a guy saying to me, if I'm out there and I'm sharing my story, like say I say to a guy like, hey, I had a bad experience with another dude and this is what happened. Like say I share it, right? And we're talking and he says, that guy's shitty. That sounds awful. I'm not like that. What's wrong with distinguishing yourself? First of all, that means you're acknowledging there are people who act shitty. You're saying, yeah, that's not cool. I don't support that kind of behavior. That's not me. No, she has a problem with that because she needs you to believe that you're also a misogynist and that you're also capable of horrible things because you're patriarchy. Secondly, what the hell is tone policing? What is this bullshit that they tone police? Now, nobody polices my tone. I don't know if you know, lady, but this whole room is filled with guys right now. Tyler doesn't come in here before the show and say, you really got to watch your tone. No, that's not what's happening. What is she talking about? Do you know what tone policing is?
If I said that. I think you'd walk over and smack me.
You know, Tyler, you're giving me a bad reputation now. But what does that mean, tone? That means that women are told that they're too emotional. Is that what that is? What she's talking about?
Telling somebody to calm down? Is that what she like? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what she's talking about.
I'm going to be honest with you. Neither does she. She just read that in some book. She went to a seminar and they said, don't allow men to tone police you. And she was like, oh, that sounds fantastic. Tone policing. That's what happened there.
Well, and for your daily dose of irony, she's talking about the patriarchy, right? And she's graduated college with 2 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay, right? What do you think she would have to say about Leah Thomas? What do you think she'd have to say about transgender men who shower with women? What do you think that she'd have to say about the man who goes into the women's spa and shows off his junk?
Mm-hmm. No, they don't. No. Then you have to bow down to the woke cause of the moment, and suddenly all this stuff about feminism and women's rights. And I'm sure she's like a big person on equality. I don't know what she defines as equality. I'm sure she's got plenty to say about the pay gap. We talked about that myth the other day. It's just nauseating to me. And you guys know I don't like generalizations. I don't like men do this, women do that, because there's too many people that don't fit in the box. I cannot stand someone who calls himself a feminist, comes out and needs to build women up by tearing men down. You're doing something wrong. If you need to tell every guy, hey, by the way, even though you treat women well, if that guy is good to his girlfriend, is good to his mom, has great relationship with his sister, interacts with women in the professional setting, is very respectful, you need him to feel less than. You need him to feel like there's some sort of closet badness to him, misogyny, like at his core, maybe he's not that different from someone who would rape someone. You need that because you feel insecure in some way, because you have to blame the patriarchy. Maybe you had a bad experience with a guy. I don't know what it is, but you're not entitled to do that to men. If you like the short clip, you can catch another one here, or you can catch the full episode right here.